Hey everyone, welcome back. Hope you guys had a great weekend. It's Sunday night. We got 2 more days left into the end of this year. And my voice is already going out. It's going to be interesting. We're going to see how it plays out. I still think we're going to be coming down a little bit more on Bitcoin. I think the bears are in kind of control right now. So we'll see what they do going forward into Monday and Tuesday, which we have trading days on the miners. Bitcoin obviously trades 24 hours a day, so we'll see there. And today we're just going to take a look at how the miners did against Bitcoin this past week. We'll get into some Q&A side of things, and that's basically it. And give you guys my thoughts on if we're still going to continue to go down on Bitcoin, which I think we are. Okay, but as always, you guys know the drill here. Where is it at? There it is. I moved some stuff around my panel here. Not financial advice for entertainment only. Please do your own research. And I've added some sound effects. If you guys like these, let me know. If you don't like them, let me know. I put in some stuff here just to kind of make it a little bit fun going forward. But if you guys don't like it, I'll take it out. It's not a big deal on that. Okay. Also, if you enjoy this type of content, hit the like button, subscribe, helps me out tremendously. And let's take a look at what's going on here with Bitcoin right now. So Bitcoin has been down here for the last 2 weeks now, it looks like. It finished out 2 weeks in the red here. We peaked the prior week at 108,000 here on it. You can see, and then we went way down. I mean, we had a nice peak, and we went all the way down. We had a huge reversal here on the prior week. We were basically up to 108,000. We came down to 92,000. That was basically a 16,000, roughly, if I'm correct on my math here, 16,000 swing in a week. That was a tough week for us. Last week, right now, which closed out just a couple hours ago, we were down another 1.6% on the week. We closed at 93,563. On the daily chart, you can see the same thing happening here. We've been definitely heading down. We broke past our 50-day simple moving average, which is this line right here. It's now in the red. And that makes me think we're going to continue to go down a little bit more. I think the bears are in control right now, which is not untypical of Bitcoin, because Bitcoin has in the past gone way up and then corrected 20, 30%. We've only corrected so far about, what was it, 15%, I think? Something like that from the top here to the bottom here. Yeah, 15%. So we might go down a little bit more, I think. Right around to like the 80,000 mark. We might get a wick down. I've said this before. I think that still might be incoming here. We do have possibly tax loss harvesting happening right now at the end of the week here. We might see that tomorrow as well. Bitcoin's down right now. Well, it's up a little bit here in the new day, but it was down on Sunday. I'm guessing we're going to be down again on Monday, tomorrow, and then Tuesday. Wednesday, markets will be off for the New Year celebration there, and then we'll get back into things on Thursday and Friday as well to see how things play out into it. If you recall last year also, the market went down, well, Bitcoin market and everything else went down into the new year, right, like a week or two prior into it, and then we had a nice reversal happen after that, after about a week or so in the new year. So I'm expecting the same kind of thing to play out here, but we'll see. Right now, I'm still guessing we're going to be going down, so I'm trying to get some cash on the sideline here so I can buy possibly more if we dip even more. I don't know exactly where it's going to dip, but we'll definitely dip a little bit more, I think. And the miners will dip along with it. Bitcoin dips. So that's why I'm trying to save up a little cash here to buy the dip if it does happen, because at that point, I think we are still going to be heading to at least like 200,000 later on this year. I don't know exactly when that's going to happen, but we should be getting at least somewhere around there by the end of the year. That's kind of my thoughts on it. And a lot of people are thinking the same thing here. Maybe it's all echo chamber that we're all thinking the same thing. There's always a possibility of that. But I still think with all the adoption that we're having, nation states, right? The United States country. Well, the United States is looking to put it on a strategic reserve as well. States as well. And there's just so much adoption happening this time around that we haven't had in the past, where I do think we are still going to go up much higher. And the miners should perform at that point much better as well, with Bitcoin going up. Okay, so that's it on Bitcoin here. We'll see how the miners do tomorrow. I'm guessing it's going to be another red day, so be prepared for that as well. And a couple of things we're going to take a look at here really quick as well on this is the network hash rate for Bitcoin. That has continued to go up here. This is the 30-day average on it. This is as of yesterday. We are now at 771 exahash. That is pretty close to where I thought we were going to end the year. If you guys recall, and I've said this many times before as well, that we probably would get to like 800 to like 900 exahash for the end of the year. Oh, we're pretty close. I was off by roughly 29,000 or 29 exahash. Not too far off from it. A lot of people were thinking that we're going to be at maybe like 650 to 700, something like that. I kind of figure that we're going to be much higher based on just the miners themselves reporting what their growth is going to be for this year, and then the percentage that they had of the market share and what everybody else was going to possibly do at the same time. So it has played out kind of what I thought it was going to do. All right. Okay, so that's looking like we thought it was going to look. This is the Bitcoin fees per day here. Those have been coming down as well, as Bitcoin price has been coming down, so we kind of expected that. Less transactions, less volatility in Bitcoin and everything else. That's going to lead to lower fees. And then finally here we have the Bitcoin hash price. That's been coming down also. Bitcoin price has been coming down, and the network hash rate has also been going up. So I think this is in line with what we would expect to see. So we need Bitcoin definitely to go up much higher from where it is right now on it. And then as far as Bitcoin here for this past December right now is down 2.79% as of about a half an hour ago when I refreshed this page here. So we are down for December, which I thought we were going to have at least a green December here, but it's not looking like it. And I think the thing that really kind of spooked the market was Papa Powell with the Fed being a little bit more hawkish in his stance going forward, along with them saying that they're going to reduce rates by maybe 2 more times next year instead of the 4 that they were talking about earlier. I think that had obviously an impact on not only the markets, but Bitcoin itself. So we have this little correction happening right now. And I think it's a healthy correction. Like I've said, we've seen this before. It's not something out of the ordinary. If we get down to another 5%, 10% down from where we are right now, I think that would be healthy. And we can probably reverse at that point. But yeah, in the long run, I still think we're very, very, very early. And we're going to do very, very, very well as well. Okay, so that's it for that one. And then, like I said, the stock market is going to be closed here on, I thought there were going to be like a shorter day on Tuesday, which is the New Year's Eve, but it's not. We don't have anything like that. It's going to be a regular day for trading on Tuesday. Monday, we're obviously going to be open as well. And then on Wednesday, we're going to be closed for that. All right. So that's that part of it. Let's take a look at the miners here. So the miners versus Bitcoin, we look at this weekly chart, right? How did the miners do basically from the 52-week lows and from the 52-week highs? We also look to see how they did last week, 4 weeks, 8 weeks, and 12 weeks ago on that as well. So we're going to look at that really quick through here as well. But you can still see Core has done the best here. It's up 438 right now from its 52-week lows to right now. BitDeer has, that one has been on a rally here recently. I mean, it's been like a rocket ship in the last... excuse me, the last couple of weeks here. It's been doing really, really well. All right, it's just been rocketing up much higher from where we were. So that one has done really well, surprisingly. I know that a lot of growth is going to be happening in 2025, later, second half of 2025, but it's going to be growing for sure. But that one's done really well. Terrible, same thing, 346% here, up from its 52-week lows. HUT 8 also, 261%. IREN up 200%. Bitcoin's up 157%. So all of those guys have outperformed Bitcoin here. The ones that have not outperformed, Cypher, Riot, Cleanspark, Marathon, Hive, and Bitfarms. Right, some of the bigger guys here, as far as mining is concerned, Riot, Cleanspark, Marathon, have definitely underperformed Bitcoin from where we thought they would have. Based on their growth and exahash growth and just HODL position growth and all that stuff, I honestly thought that they were going to do a lot better than they did. And the thing that really changed on this was the HPCI potential for some of these guys, right? We saw that with Core, we saw it with TeraWolf, HUT 8, IREN as well a little bit to that extent also. But yeah, it's just a different way of performance, I guess, than what I thought was going to happen. But some of the things you can't really foresee into the future. And so we definitely learned on this one for sure. And you can see here how far away the miners are still from the 52-week highs. You got Cleanspark down, away the most, 60% away from its 52-week high, followed by Bitfarms 58. You still got TeraWolf quite a ways away now, 40. That was much closer. It's definitely come back down to reality a little bit here. And you can see that the performance for the past week was not great. I think the deal that they had there last week come out, that kind of finalized some things for investors as far as what's going on with them, how much will they be making on their HPCI business. So the stock's been coming down a little bit here. We'll see if it comes down even more later on this week, which I think all of these guys will, at least for the first 2 days, and then we'll see what they do in the new year on it. But that's kind of interesting to take a look at there. And then here's the performance over the last week, 4 weeks and 8 weeks and 12 weeks. You can see BitDeer was the only one that was up nicely here, 15%. Bitcoin was only up 1%. Everybody else was down. Core was down 1%, Bitfarms 3, Riot 5%, Hive down 5%, Hut down 6, Marathon down 8, IREN down 9%, Cleanspark down 12%, Cypher down 15, TeraWolf down 16. So TeraWolf did the worst here, even with the news of them getting an HPCI deal there. And that's kind of one of the things that I've talked about also, is if they don't have a really good deal there, that the stock would possibly come down in price. And sure enough, we're seeing that right now happening. On the 4 weeks chart, we can see the same thing. BitDeer is the only one that's outperforming here, up 13%. Bitcoin's down 1% from 4 weeks ago. Everybody else is down double digits here. Core down 17, Bitfarms down 29, Riot down 15, Hive down 32. Everybody like 30% plus as well. It's been a rough couple weeks here for these guys. On the 8 weeks, we can see BitDeer outperforming again, up 164%. Like I said, this thing has been acting like a rocket here recently. Bitcoin up 29%, so that's been doing better than most. Hut's up only 14%, and then, well, everybody else here has underperformed Bitcoin in the last 8 weeks. Looking at the 12 weeks here, going back that far, BitDeer again up 212% here. Like I said, really good gains. Hut 8 actually outperformed Bitcoin here at 90%. Bitcoin's up only 59%. Then you got quite a few that are at least in the green here from that long ago. The ones that still are in the red are Bitfarms and Hive on that, which is surprising to me. We'll see how they do going forward on it. And then here's how the table looks right now. We've had a bunch of, basically like 3 weeks in a row where we had a bunch of red in the miners for the most part. Which we haven't seen that in a while. The last time we saw that much red here was back in September and August. We saw 2 weeks there. Prior to that, we really didn't have anything where we had like 3 straight weeks of red. This is just, the miners are getting, beaten down because of, the bears right now for some reason. And eventually I think they will turn into bulls, but when I don't know exactly when. But I still think that this is really a good time to get in if you haven't gotten in already. And, we'll see how things progress from there. Okay, so that is it on Bitcoin miners. Like I said, we'll see what they do later on this week. And then let's get into your guys' Q&A side of things here, see what you guys have, any questions and thoughts on anything. And as always, if you guys could preface your questions with a question mark or Q, and I move some stuff around so I can see the comments a little bit better. I have my little iPad now, which actually shows me the comments here. So I'm going to try scrolling through those, seeing what we have available there as well. And I'm going to try to get through as many as I can here. So I'm going to scroll down to see if I got any questions here. So bear with me. I probably should put that in front of me. Well, we'll see. Let's see what we got here. Going through some of these questions. Okay. Okay. Roz asks, let's see what this is. Pull up. There we go. Okay, that works. But that still doesn't. Okay. Well, that works. Which quarter miners will start moving up? I think they should start moving up in the first quarter, actually. First and second quarter, I think they should definitely move up going forward. As long as Bitcoin, goes up, goes up with us. And the bears kind of take a hibernation a little bit here. But yeah, at that point, I think they should go up right around there. Okay, let's see another question here. Hi Seb, what would be Bitfarms price if they delivered 40 exahash with BTC at 22,000? Thanks. At BTC at 22,000? Oh my gosh, they're going to be in the dumps at that point. Bitcoin's at 22,000 along with everybody else. So I just don't see that happening. Maybe you're thinking about 220,000. If that's the case, maybe that's what you're thinking. Then they would be definitely much higher if they get to 40 exahash than Bitcoin's at 220,000. Okay, let's see here. Where do you see Mara price action by end of Q1 2025? That's going to be dependent on where Bitcoin's at. If Bitcoin's still trading sideways, like it might, I don't think it will, but it might, then they're going to be around the same price point right now, unless they really provide some good updates as far as growth going forward for us. That may be a good catalyst for that at that point. But yeah, we'd have to see on it. All right, hold on. I'm going to move some stuff around because this doesn't actually do me any good to have it on the little iMac or iPad here. It actually makes it worse. All right, let me see here. All right, talked about that. Let's see. Okay. Are you still in? Are you still sold on Cleanspark? Yes, I'm still sold on Cleanspark. Yeah. All right. Let's see. Okay. Why did that change on me also? That's a little strange. I didn't do anything to that. Let's see here. Hold on. Let me fake something really quick. I don't like that going flying from the top here. I don't want it. Just want it none. Okay. Hi, Seb. Thanks for all your analysis. Do you agree with only 29% poly market bets on U.S. Bitcoin reserves in the first 100 days? I think that's actually pretty low. I mean, we'll have to wait and see. They do have a mandate, right? Trump has a mandate. He's got the House. He's got the Senate. He's got, obviously, the executive branch there. So they do have a mandate to do things that people want them to do. And I think one of the things people wanted them to do was to put Bitcoin as a strategic reserve. One of the things that he can do is on the first day coming in is put out an executive order that the 200,000 plus that they have Bitcoin right now in custody to reserve that for the Bitcoin strategic reserve. We'll see if he does that. I think he said that they are going to do that. All right. What else we got here? Question, what would you say the worst thing is about Mara? The worst thing? Right now, I think their operations are much better than they have been. But I think right now, the worst thing I would say about them is their lack of clarity on certain things. They're not providing a lot of details as far as miners that they're getting. What's the terahash per miner? What's the price you're paying for those miners? We're not getting a lot of details on that. Also, not a lot of details on their forward guidance as far as growth. I would say that's probably the worst thing right now. And then followed by that, I would say if their operations don't continue to be as good as they have been here in November, and it looks like they're going to have really good operations in December as well, that might be the other thing. That, and if they could also maybe have their operations be fully owned instead of hosted. I think they're still hosted at about 45%, 40%, something like that. All right. So what else we got here? See, question, especially have you resorted to sound effects because you can't explain these miners are bad companies to invest in? No, I actually thought that was just trying to bring in a little fun into it. If you guys don't like them, I'll take them off. It's not a big deal. But I thought it'd be just a little fun. I got some other things. I got, what else do I have here? I added some stuff over the weekend here. I was playing around, trying to have a little fun. Let me see here. We got the bull thing going on. I think something's bullish. If you guys don't like that, I'll take that out. We got the bear case. The bears are in control. Just trying to have a little fun. If you guys don't like it, I won't do it. Okay, let's see. Hi, Seb. The institutional ownership on these miners has been increasing. Does that mean they own more shares on these miners, or they are borrowing more to short it? Would be sad if it's the latter. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if there's any way we can tell. I think if you're buying it, I think that's when you report it. That has to be reported that you own more. I don't know if you're shorting them and borrowing it from somebody else that would go on it. That I don't know. Let's see. Hi, Seb. Your thoughts on MicroStrategy's 10 billion share move? Yeah. I mean, well, that's a lot of shares. I don't know how fast he's going to dilute that. Hopefully it's going to take 10 years to 20 years to dilute that much. What do they have right now? They have like the 300 some odd million shares, if I'm not mistaken, something like that. Yeah, I mean, that's obviously, he's going to use it to grow his HODL even more, which has benefited him in the past. So I don't know. Let's see here. Question, thoughts on where to likely find a 5x or more in 2025 with BTC going up to 180,000, 200,000. I still think the miners are going to be a pretty good bet on that. Right, 5x is on the higher side of things where I think they could go. If you get like a 3x to a 5x, I'd be extremely happy with that. I think most of you guys would be as well. Okay, let's see. Especially, have you heard any news about any tax incentives for Bitcoin miners? I have not, no. Okay. Hey, Seb, do you think this might be the last shakeout for the miners before we move up indefinitely and consolidate at higher levels when BTC rebounds? Could be the case. We saw that last cycle. We saw it also last year a little bit when the miners kind of bottomed out here before the New Year's. And then they went on a nice rally here. A lot of these guys getting to new all 52-week highs on that. So that could happen potentially. Okay, let's see here. It's too loud. You're talking about the sound effects are too loud? Okay, I'll bring them down. Let's see. Crispy says remove them. All right, then we won't do any of that stuff. Oh, okay. Why does anyone think that miners can stabilize and go up with Bitcoin not having established a solid floor, 100,000? It's unrealistic until that happens. Yeah, Bitcoin went up above 100,000, came below it. That's why I said we might be going down a little bit more, right? Right around maybe to the 80,000 mark. We might get a candle going down in there, a wick, and then we're back up to things as well. Sourman says, my wife just woke up. Damn, sorry, I didn't think it was that loud. I had it. I was testing it out earlier today, and it sounded like it was going to be the same sound volume as me. So I apologize for that. A wife waking up is kind of like a bear. So I apologize. Okay. Has anyone heard any more news or rumors about Hut 8 or Meta? I have not. The latest report that we saw was probably from about 2 weeks ago when I talked about them working with the city in Louisiana to build out a $12 billion data center for HPCI. Okay, let's see. Question. Last cycle Hut went from $13 to $31 from 20th December to 4th of January. Is that possible this cycle as well? Well, last cycle they were by themselves. They weren't a part of USBTC, or they haven't merged with USBTC at that point. Is it possible? They also did a reverse stock split with the merger. So, I mean, they got pretty close to 30. Where was it? All right, let's see here. They got pretty close to 30. Well, let's see here. Hut 8. There they are. They got to $31 already here recently, if you look at it. Right here. They got to it, but with the reverse stock split, they probably would have been much lower than that. So I would have to run the math on it to really figure out if that's the case, if they could do it again. Okay, let's see here. Meant BTC 200,000, yeah, not 22,000. Bitfarms price with 49 exahash. Did you see Bitfarms coming about expanding in the mining redomicile? When was I saw some comments about it? Was there something recent on it that I'm not aware of? I know that they were looking into being domiciled in the United States. There was a potential there, and them getting to 49 exahash. I haven't seen anything on that, unless I missed it someplace. Let's see. Which quarter do you think IREN will do a share buyback? They announced it at their last earnings call, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, they said that they could do it, possibly. But I wouldn't count on them doing that right now. I mean, they could do it. I think that's a small percentage that they would actually do that. Why would you buy back shares? You're better off, especially with price of the stock right now being much higher. You're better off doing that when the stock is being down into a pulp and buying at that point, not when the stock has actually done pretty well here recently. So I think the money could be used better. They could use it to hodl, or they could use it actually to grow some more. I would rather see them do that than buy back shares, actually. Let's see. Will MicroStrategy dilution hurt MicroStrategy like it did for the miners? That is yet to be seen. I mean, he's been doing a really good job with getting the convertible debts, convertible notes, and all that stuff. That's been really helping the stock there, and it's basically pushing out dilution into the future, right, with those, because either they're going to dilute to pay those convertible notes off, or they're going to have to sell the shares. Well, basically, so we'll see how they do going forward with that. All right. Question: what chance out of 100% the 1 million BTC reserve bill gets passed? How long after Trump presidency do you think it could happen? 2025, 26? Republicans, yeah, both houses. How long would they debate? Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question. I would think that would happen within the first 100 days, right? Get that done and over with. Cynthia Loomis already has put out a bill there for that, I believe. So it's just a matter of them hashing it out, talking about it, and getting it to the president to sign. I don't know how long it could take. I mean, that's anybody's guess right now. But I would think with the mandate that they have, that should be done really quickly. Okay, Brad says, it's kind of fun to add the rocket and the sound effects. No need to remove them, just less loud. Okay, so I did lower the volume here just a little bit more. Here's another test. You guys can let me know if these happen, right? Obviously, we've had a lot of people crying about what's going on here in the miners and the market and everything else. Right. Let me know how that sounded. Let's see. What is the sense of DMG Bitcoin HODL being 90% of its market cap? Should be an instant buy, or am I missing something? Yeah. I mean, that's the problem with some of the smaller guys like DMG, Digihost, Argo. Who else is in that? Sphere 3D. You got some other. You got a lot of smaller miners there, but that's the problem with them. They're not being valued on their operations, and they're only being valued. I mean, some of them are even less than book value. So that's just. Could they be valued more? Yeah. Should they be valued more? Yes. And then, will they be actually repriced properly when Bitcoin does start to go to 150,000, 200,000? I would think so. Okay, let's see. Don says, hey, Seb, I would prefer you make the sound effects yourself. Well, I can't make the sound effects of a bear or a bull. My dad makes a pretty good bull sound, but I can't do it. What else we got here? Okay, question. Here we go. 2024, I more than doubled my money on BTC and Ethereum, which is great, but I made nothing on Cleanspark, DC around 10, and nothing on Bitfarms, DC around 2. Please share your thoughts moving forward on these in 2025. Yeah, so I dollar cost averaged in a lot into both of those, as you know. Luckily, I was buying in both of them in 2022 and in 2023, where they were much lower priced. So I'm still in the green on them. Barely on Bitfarms right now, but I'm still green. Cleanspark, I'm still nicely in the green on that one, but I still am looking to buy more if we dip even a little bit less than where we are right now on these guys. And I would expect them to do much better in 2025. If Bitcoin doesn't go up, well, they're not going to go up either. So we really need Bitcoin to go up, which I think is going to happen. When exactly that's going to happen? Is it going to be first quarter, second quarter? I really don't know, but I do believe it's going to go up. Okay, let's see. Cleanspark mentioned buyback common shares, but haven't yet. When do you think management starts to repurchase? I thought they already did that. The 100 some odd million that they did, it was like 11. They did report it was like 11 million shares that they bought back or something like that. So they already did that. All right. What else we got here? Soda said, especially I just bought 157 shares at 966. 157 to 221 filled. Now I have 2,500 shares. Average cost $12. How long can it go? Considering averaging down, but it's risky to put it all in one stock. Yeah, I wouldn't put it all into one stock. I would diversify, get some of the other ones as well in there if you can. But it's going to be a little bit more pain before a lot more euphoria before that happens, right? I still think that right now, Cleanspark and Bitfarms are way undervalued as it is. How much more can they go down to be even more undervalued? I don't know, right? But there's obviously some guys that are, I think, overvalued as well. Let's see, a little lower volume, but it's much better now. Okay, so we'll lower it a little bit more. All right, so we're getting there. We're getting it figured out, right? Just have a little fun. We talk about, the miners and everything else. It's been painful, so I'm trying to bring a little light into this conversation here. Let's see here. To say that Mara is better than to say that Cleanspark is better than Mara is insane. It's not even close. Once Mara squeezes the 23% short holders, it will 4x easy. And so should Cleanspark at that point, right? Cleanspark's got actually more shorts than Mara does right now, as of last time I checked, which is probably about 2 weeks ago now. Okay. Yep. All right. I got you. We can't hear you talk when this. Okay. Perfect. I lowered it down a little bit more now. We'll see how it goes now. Let's see. What else do we have here? Okay. What do you think of similar as an alternative proxy to MicroStrategy or miners? Well, they got a much smaller HODL. I think some of the miners might. I think the miners actually have more, like Cleanspark, IREN. No, IREN doesn't have anything. Sorry. Riot, Hut 8, obviously not MicroStrategy. Mara has a huge HODL position as well. I think those guys should get, like JP Morgan said, they should get at least a 2x on their Bitcoin HODL. See. Especially, do you think that Bitcoin will become a reserve currency? I do think it's going to happen, but Are they going to call it actually currency, or are they call it an asset, reserve asset, Bitcoin strategic reserve asset? Yeah, I don't know. Currency, for it to be a currency, I mean, there's Lightning Network already that does help with the transaction speed and things like that, but I think we would need something of the speed of a MasterCard or a Visa or something like that in order to have, that many transactions happening on the network there. There would have to be some development happening there. Okay, let's see your question. I have not had to turn my volume up tonight. You're almost as loud as other channels if I switched. So you may have adjusted volume, but usually I need to turn it up when I switch to your channel. Oh, okay. Ah, interesting. Okay. So that is working out pretty good then. Perfect. Thank you for letting me know. Let's see what else. Let's see. Level Chem says, right now sell everything and book your losses for the tax year. Most likely we are going to get more down by another 10-50%. Then it will be 2025 and load up. Yeah, that's definitely a strategy to do. I don't have anything against that one. Okay, Mark says, please turn the side noise off. What side noise? Are you hearing something in the background? I do have a little heater, space heater going in the probably about, 15 feet away from me. If you can hear that, wow, this mic is definitely picking stuff up. All right, let's see. Sebastian, what's the percent of short on Riot, and how do you look that info? How do you look that info up? You can look it up. I think Yahoo Finance has it. There's other sites you can look it up as well. I have it here on the shorts. Let me see if I got it. Where's it at for me? I pull the data in. If you have like Webull or Robinhood, you could possibly find it in there. Where is it at? Shorts. Where's my shorts tab that I have? There it is, shorted. Okay, so I pull this data in for you guys, and the data comes out the 15th of every month and like the end of the month as well. So it's always like a 2-week delay on it. This is from, I believe, this is from the beginning, the end of November data that we have on this. Right, so Riot right now is being shorted about 14% of the float. So it's not too bad. It's kind of in the middle right now. You got Cleanspark right now being the most shorted, Marathon as well. Terrell quite heavily shorted as well, I think. I'm not sure. Well, I can see maybe why. I think the stock ran up quite tremendously. I think that's maybe why it's being shorted, but BitDeer as well. It's like some of these guys that have run up, BitDeer and TerraWolf especially, it's like, are the market makers betting long and then also hedging their bets on the shorts? I don't know. Could be the case. Let's go back here. Okay. Talked about that. Let's see what else we have here. Okay. Terry asks, does Woodfield Mall accept BTC? I don't know. I don't go to Woodfield Mall. I usually go to, what is that? Fox Valley Mall in Aurora. Woodfield's a little bit further out from me. Okay. Doge. Let's spend the rest of the time, rest of the programming adjusting the mic and noise settings. Great time of use. There we go. I'll give you that one. Cheers, my friend. Okay, let's see. Omar says, thanks for doing the stream sub. Look forward to it every night. It's becoming a part of my routine. I appreciate it. Thank you. It's been kind of like becoming my routine as well. I do the research on these things and come on here and talk to you guys about them. And so I greatly enjoy it. I hope you guys do too. Okay. Do you think the miners already front ran the cycle? A lot of them are up like 500% from their bear market lows. Yes, a lot of them, if you got in at the very, very best time, which was back in December of 2022, right? And then, yeah, 2023 was a better year for them. 2022 was a bottom, I believe, in the month. Yeah, 2022, sorry. Getting the dates mixed up. But that was definitely the best time to get into them. If you got into them at that point, some of these guys were up like over 10x from the bottom. So if you got in right now, they might be like 5x or even 7x, something like that. So definitely, yeah. Let's see. Let's see. Okay. Question. Best guess at which does best a 5x going forward in 2025? Cleanspark, Bitfarms, IREN, MicroStrategy, top 50 altcoins. Nobody really knows. I just want to hear what you think. Yeah, I mean, I would think the miners, with as much as they're beaten down right now by the bears and everything else, that they would, they'd probably have a higher percentage likelihood of getting a 5x now than they did when they were, 30, 40% up higher from where they are now. So I think there's still a possibility. To be honest with you guys, I'll be happy with we get a 3x on all these guys here, but a 5x would definitely be great. If Bitcoin goes to 200,000, 250,000, then I'm almost certain we're going to get 5x on a lot of these guys here. Right. The only thing is how much of a hodl has an impact on it, right? Where IREN doesn't hodl that much. Bitfarms hodls a little bit as well. Cleanspark has a nice hodl there. So we'll have to wait and see how that plays out. Let's see here. How did you come up with sound effects? Sound effects I got from, what's it called? GarageBand? No, not GarageBand. iMovie and Final Cut Pro. They have sound effects in there as well. And that, what else? Is Cleanspark and Riot being punished for not having HPC AI in your opinion? I don't know if they're being punished for it, but it's not just them. It's also Marathon, Hive, Bitfarms in there as well. Those guys haven't done that great. So I think the speculation and the hype was around HPCI. Anybody that talked about it really did well. Did very, very well here in the last, I would say, 6 months or so. The other miners that have stayed true to their core have not done so well. So I think the HPC-AI potential hype, whatever you want to call it, I think is going to come down a little bit here into 2025. We saw a couple of deals come through. We saw TeraWolf get in a good deal, I would say. Roughly almost $100 million to start out with. They have potential to grow that. But the best one was Core with CoreWeave. I mean, that's a huge contract for them over the next 12 years, multi-billion-dollar contract. So, I mean, that's kind of I would say kind of the standard more or less right now to kind of shoot for if they can get it. Anything less than that is maybe not going to be viewed as positively. And we saw TeraWolf come down 16% this past week because of it, possibly. That's kind of what I think on it, but we'll see. Let's see. Derry says, we drywalled the St. Charles Mall years ago, back in the 90s. Oh, yeah, I remember that. Yeah, you're talking about my area here. You're talking about the new one that was built, not the one that's off of, what is that, 38 over there, I believe was the old one. That was the old St. Charles Mall, and they built another one off of 64. And that thing, I think, is like a ghost town now. Last time I was there was, probably 6 years ago, and there weren't many shops open then. Let's see. Did you see the news? Bitcoin could reach 1 million in 2025 if the U.S. creates a strategic Bitcoin reserve, says a Bitwise executive. I mean, it wouldn't be just the United States doing it. I think it would be other countries doing it as well. At that point, could we get to 1 million? I mean, that would be fantastic. Don't get me wrong. I would love to see that happen. The likelihood of that happening, I think, is pretty small. I think. Let's see here. Have you seen Financial Ernie channel? No, I have not. I didn't even know he existed there. So I'll check him out. His latest video has the shorts numbers on the miners. I think Cleanspark is up to 27 shorts of float now. Okay, so we're pretty close to where I have it now. I have it 22, so he might have the latest data here for the middle of December, which would have been the 15th, I think. Let's see. Mr. Credit says, the worst part about it all is that some of my friends went heavy into quantum and some are up 500 to 700% while I'm down on Mawson and Cleanspark. How do they keep going down while BTC is over 90,000? They're being manipulated. Yeah, I mean, that's the only thing I can think of. They're being manipulated for sure. Okay. Let's see, 2023 price action on the miners made more sense. Yeah, it did, but that was before the halving event. We had a lot of hope on the ETFs getting approved, which they did in this year, right? So that definitely helped Bitcoin get to a new all-time high before the halving event. That's never happened before. Yeah, it's definitely a little bit different from last cycle. Question: chance that the run is over? Do you believe there is still a run up coming? I do believe that we still have a run coming. I don't think 108,000 was a top. Now with all the adoption news and everything else, states, like I said, countries, everybody getting in on Bitcoin. So I just don't think this is the end yet. Do you anticipate a sell-off in January? I would anticipate a small sell-off in the beginning, and then I think we should bounce. I think if we get down to an 80,000 on Bitcoin, and Bitcoin wicks down to that, and then goes back up, I think that might be the bottom that we were looking for here. Bitcoin has historically gone down 20, 30%. So it's not out of the question that it can't do it again. It's more likely that it will do it again, actually. So be prepared for that. Have some cash on the side if you are looking to buy. Question: would you agree that once FOMO kicks in, the minor fundamentals will probably get thrown out the window and everything will rally until BTC starts consolidating? I would agree, yeah. And I think we need Bitcoin to possibly get to like 150,000 and beyond that in order for that FOMO to start really kicking in around that. All right, let's see. Knowing what you know now, will you be loading up on miners this early into the next cycle? Next time around, seems a lot of research for little gains. Personally, I think MicroStrategy next cycle and avoid miners. I mean, that's definitely a play you could play. MicroStrategy has outperformed the miners here in the last year, I would say, for sure, maybe in the last 2 years. But there is a chance in a small window in time where the miners do really well. And I don't think we've seen that window in time frame yet. It will come to us when Bitcoin does go up much higher. I don't know when that's going to happen, but I do believe it's going to happen this year in 2025. Unless, here's the other part of it, unless it's an extended cycle. What if Bitcoin only gets to 150,000 in 2025, then gets to like 200,000 in 2026? Right. I don't know if that's going to be the case. We'll have to keep an eye on it. Okay, I talked about that. Let's see. If we correct to 80,000, could you see Bitfarms going to $1 aka price it was? Possibly. It's at what, $1.60 something right now. Where's it at? I just missed it here on the little scroller. But yeah, I mean, we could definitely, and that'd be 60 cents. Yeah, I mean, it's possible. Where's it at right now? Bitfarms $1.63 as of Friday. So that could happen. If we go down, the miners will go down even more as well. Let's see. When do you think the next move will be around the quarterly results? Well, the quarterly results will probably be, for a lot of these guys at least, they'll be happening, I'm guessing, mid-February to late February, because they're going to have the end-of-year financial results, which have to be audited, right? So that's always takes a little bit more time there. And so that would be, end of February, I'm guessing, at the latest for some of these guys here. Some of these guys will report. I think Hive's going to report regularly their quarterly results because they're not doing the fiscal year end. Cleanspark is another one that doesn't have to do that. And I think IREN as well. So we'll see how those guys do when they report. And I would expect a lot of these guys to have a really good quarterly results for Q4 here. With for others, it might be something else, but it's Q4 for us. So that should be interesting. And that should come out probably like the beginning of February, I think. 150,000 Bitcoin price for Mara, Cleanspark, and Bitfarms and IREN. I would say 150,000, that's basically 50% from here. The miners should do at least a 2x. At that point, right? At least a 2x on it, I would imagine, for them to be there. Let's see, Seb, if the BC goes down to 80,000, miners are absolutely screwed. Well, yeah, they're going to go down more than the percentage losses on Bitcoin, so that's always going to be the case. But they're still making a lot of money, so a lot of these guys are still profitable, like all-in costs, around 60,000, 70,000 on Bitcoin, all-in costs, so they should be still profitable at that point, but that's going to be into the next quarter, which we could start out pretty badly in the quarter for Q1 2025, but then have a really good rally into it towards the end. We'll have to wait and see. All right, let's see. Are we just saying they are being manipulated in order to just point fingers? No, not really. I mean, even some of the executives have stated that they are, being shorted quite a bit. They're being leveraged, basically. Cleanspark, for example, is 40% institutional owned, including BlackRock. Short interest is 20 to 28. So who are these entities? It could be also these guys, BlackRock, and everybody else that's hedging their bets. They're going long on MicroStrategy, maybe others, and shorting some of these miners, or they could be going long and short also, hedging their bets. Okay. Let's see. Question: is extended BTC cycle good or bad for the miners? Usually for the miners, you don't want, well, you don't want the miners to be going through an extended cycle, as far as I can tell. The reason why, because what you have here is, and usually Bitcoin has gone in a short period of time parabolic, right? Went from like 2017 went from like $1,000 to like 19,000, right? That was within, I would say, probably what, 12 months or something like that, roughly. Last cycle we went from what was it, roughly like 13,000 to 69,000, whatever it was, right? That was also in a really short period of time, within probably 12 months. So in that time frame is when the miners usually do very, very well with not only the revenues and everything else, but also the network hash rate doesn't keep up with that huge parabolic rise in Bitcoin price. So that's a good thing. If you have an extended cycle, my thought process is, maybe I'm wrong on this, we'll have to wait and see if it plays out that way. But if you have an extended cycle, at that point, the price of Bitcoin going up, right, as it goes up, is going to maybe outperform the network hash rate increase in growth, which then would keep their profits subdued, or at least not appreciate as highly as a shorter cycle would. Okay, so I hope that kind of makes sense. Okay. Question: in hindsight, should Bitfarms shareholders have accepted the Riot offer back at the beginning of the year? Yeah, I mean, hindsight is always hindsight, right? You can always be a seat warmer, or what do they call it? A seat warmer, seat warmer coach, or side seat driver, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, hindsight, I don't know if it would have been better for them. How would that have impacted Riot also? I don't know. I mean, both Riot has done maybe a little bit better than Bitfarms has done here. Let's take a look at it here, just in the last year here. Let's go year to date on these guys. 1 year, let's just go 1 year on these guys. Okay, so here is Bitfarms. Bitfarms is definitely down from where it was here. This was back in February, basically where it peaked. So it's down, what is that, 50% more or less from the top here down to where it's at right now. What is that? 60%. Okay, so that's down 60% basically year to date, more or less. Let's take a look at Riot. I think Riot has done a little bit better. We had a top here on that one. This was back in December, so kind of where we are right now. So let's see here. So if we look at that one and then go to where they are right now, let's see how far down they are. They're down 42%. So Riot has done a little bit better, but not much better. If they would have merged, could that have been a better catalyst for both of these stocks being combined? Maybe, not sure. Okay, let's see. Go back here. Why has Bitfarms stock been performing so horribly? It's been one thing after another with them this past year. We talked about all the FUD that was happening around the CEO, right, leaving, then getting fired and suing the company. We talked about the Paraguay FUD about Bitcoin mining there. We talked about the board as well, right, having issues with the board getting changed out, all that stuff. So there's been a lot of things for them. Also, their targets weren't met this year. They were supposed to get to 12 exahash by the end of Q3, 21 exahash by the end of Q4. That's been pushed off basically another 6 months. So it's just been one thing after another with them. And hopefully they can get their act together this year in 2025 and do much better and then get rewarded because of it. But we'll see. Okay. What could be the reason for Hive having such price action? They are not even shorted. They're shorted a little bit, but not much. Yeah, I mean, Hive is like 2.93% of their float being shorted, so it's not anything substantial there. The only thing I can think of is for them is their lack of huge growth, right? They're only looking to get to about 13, 15 exahash next year sometime, so that's going to be, I think, keeping up with the Bitcoin network hash rate, maintaining about 1% of that. I think that's part of it. They're not very ambitious in that regard. They are getting into HPCI a little bit more, right? They just announced last week they're buying $30 million worth of HPCs, the H100s and H200s as well. So they should be, I mean, that's going to be generating good revenue for them, but we still really need to see what that ROI is going to be on those things. Is it going to be 2 years? Is it going to be 3 years? What's that ROI on those? And then them being also based in Canada. Could that be also a detriment to them? Maybe. Maybe that's the reason why Bitfarms has been doing great as well. They're headquartered in Canada as well. Let's see here. Sebastian, ever mined Bitcoin? Yeah, I mined it with the S9s back in 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020, yeah, all the way through 22 was the last time we mined with those. Yeah, but it was easy with the PC. Yep, in the beginning it was. When did you first hear of it? I knew, first time I heard of it was back in like 2015, I think it was. Didn't think much of it, and then really got into it in 2017. But didn't mine. Tried mining later, but earned little. Yeah. Yep. Okay. Do you think there are any other reasons for the miners to go up until they begin reporting real profits? Bitcoin going up. If Bitcoin goes up, I think that's going to be also a catalyst to go that goes with them. All right, let's see. Express yourself. Great Q&A session. Thank you. Oh, you're very welcome. Yeah, thanks for coming in. Okay. When BTC was going up, miners were going down. Now BTC going down, so logically miners will go up in 2028, maybe. That's being very optimistic there. I would just say this. Or here, this one. Miners have to do great next year. I'm counting I'm going to do great next year. I want to pay off my student loans. I'm so tired of paying my student loans. I want to be done with those. And I need Bitcoin to go up and the miners to go up to do that. Let's see. Omar S. says, I swear Ben is lying fraud, don't you think? No. I'm not, yes, he was the chief mining officer there. So he had a lot of insight into what's going on. But some things you can't foresee, right? Some things you can't foresee, like the T21 miners going basically bad on them with the heat sinks or the heating paste, the thermal paste there, being bad on a lot of those machines there. You can't foresee that stuff. What else do we have there? He's been mining officer, been invested. He would have known that targets would be met, but peddles lies anyways. Yeah, that's where I'm saying I don't think that's the case. The other part of it was also he bought, I believe, shares, like 100,000 shares of the company here like a week ago or something like that. Somebody's pointing that out. So he's investing in the company himself. So I believe he believes that they're going to do much better going forward. But some things you can't foresee. Excuse me. What was the biggest pleasant surprise for you? For me, it was Asher Ganut. That was a surprise there. We'll have to see how that plays out still going forward. But he's done a good job here so far. I will give him that. The biggest one for me was obviously Adam Sullivan with CORZ. I was really skeptical of the company getting out of bankruptcy. Well, I knew they were going to get out of bankruptcy, but how well would they be able to execute after it? That was an outstanding job there for them. So Adam has done a fantastic job. Let's see. Do you think they trying to keep Bitfarms price low so they won't pay the high for Stronghold's acquisition? If Bitfarms is higher than the buyout, will be overvalued. Oh, never thought about that. There might be something to that. Let's see here. Thanks for the session. I'm afraid to say I'm not a fan of the sound effects though, nor is Kitty who flew out of the room like it was the end of the world. Okay, so if the sound effects are scaring your pets, if there's a lot of you guys that aren't for those, I'll take them off. I won't do them. Let's see, especially, did you ever mine gold? I did mine gold 2 times, but just for fun. We were up in South Dakota. We were at a mine there, and you had the little, so they gave you basically a pouch full of rocks and dirt, and then you'd have that plate, and right, you would do that stuff. So I did that there, and I did it also in the Smoky Mountains. So I did that 2 times. Let's see, Brad says, Ben bought 100,000 shares. Didn't hear that. Yeah, I saw that someplace that I believe he, correct me if I'm wrong here, but I believe he did buy 100,000 shares around there, somewhere around there. So he's definitely, that's a good sign there, I think. Okay. All right. Well, I think we're going to call it a day here. I don't see what else we got here going on. We'll see what happens tomorrow. As always, we'll see what happens. Let's see. Alex had one more coming up here. We'll get to Alex and see. Alex says, I think people are more upset with Bitfarms communication and updates. They waited till last moment to give an update on the 21x. Yeah, I will agree with you there. Also, didn't give much of a reason why they only delivered half. Yeah, I would agree with you there. Yeah, I was definitely disappointed on that. That's why I sold a third of my position there because of it. Going into, I wanted to see what their growth was going to be, and that wasn't what I expected. Yeah, but yeah, we'll see what happens tomorrow. Tomorrow's a new day. We got 2 more days in the old year of 2024. Wow. And then we got 2025 to look forward to. Oh, I'm seriously hoping that it's going to be a much better year for us than 2024 was. Well, half the miners did really well, half the miners didn't do that well. So I'm hoping that the half that didn't do so well do much better going forward. But we'll see. I keep thinking that we're still early and we're still going to do very well, but time will tell on that. I'm still very positive on the space and the miners in general and themselves. I think we just need Bitcoin to go up much higher from where it's at right now. And that will happen, but we got to be patient, and it's been definitely challenging with the miners. All right. Love you all for coming in here. I hope you guys have a great night. I'll see you guys tomorrow, and maybe I'll do a poll on Patreon and on X as well, maybe YouTube, to whether or not I should keep the sound effects in or not. If you guys don't like them, we'll take them out. All right. I'll see you guys tomorrow.